Now, coming to what I've just spoken about, the fact that Raila Amolo Odinga said that Azimio does not recognize Mr. William Ruto as the president, neither do you recognize his administration. We cannot forget that the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, is still the chairman of Azimio. Is this also his take? Because we're trying to imagine that by the time you're coming to make such a declaration, he must have been consulted. Did he agree to these sentiments? And if he did, why did he then hand over the power? Or what is happening? Because we also had yesterday, former Murkweni MP Kabando Akabando actually state that, all right, so if that is the case, can the handover be reversed? You know, what exactly is Uhuru's opinion on all this?
I think a couple of things, and let me also say that just to finish on that bit of yesterday, that the behavior of some of the members of parliament is not anything that surprised us. We had, even during the campaigns of Azimio, you could actually see people who are conflicted. So these are people we keep nursing, helping, moving on. And maybe later in life, people will stabilize in what they believe in and where they want to belong. Fast forward, last year, the most important exercise that was before us as Jubilee, with our party leader, with our president, the president of the Republic of Kenya then, Uhuru Kenyatta, was to manage the country and to hand over power. You will need to know that that's a constitutional mandate. It's a constitutional requirement. And it is the minimum that you can do as a president. What goes through the mind of a president, certainly unknown to us who have never been, but you can almost imagine, because our engagement with him was always that I do not want a bloodshed in this country. Not a drop do I want to see because of elections. So whatever it you take, we must do it. The responsibility was, one, to ensure there was peace, there was stability, and that transition happened. And that is why there was a transition team in good time, and engagement was always there. So even outside the campaigning, and remember, as Jubilee Party, we did not have a presidential candidate. So the behavior, the activities of a party without a presidential candidate are totally different from one with a presidential candidate. That's why you did not see the Jubilee of 2017 and 2013. And what Uhuru Kenyatta, the president, concentrated on most, of course, he had his preferred candidate. But even when the preferred candidate was not announced by IEBC or the outcome of Supreme Court, the first thing he did was to call us and tell us, we will still hand over power. The responsibility or the expectations of me by our constitution is to ensure there is smooth transition of power. That's what he did. He actually said, I will go to Kasarani. I know they will insult me. They will heckle, but I will do the decent thing. I do not want any bloodshed when I'm in power. And I tell you, that is something that we are proud of. It may not have found space because of the noise that has been there. But in the time, when the history is written, that is something that you cannot miss out. And he also said, we respect what the courts have said, but we don't accept it. So that was necessary to do. There is a question of, can you undo it? You cannot undo the handing over power. But the constitution is also not completely dead on issues. And handing over power and allowing the country to move on does not mean that that's the end of you fighting for your rights. And that is why the constitution is very heavy on the fundamental rights. So when we continue pushing for what we believe in is the correct thing as Azimio, it's because one is that we have the party leader, and our party leader is Raila Amolo Odinga. And activities of the party are dictated or directed more by the party leader and the Secretary General. You may have the chairman of the council. He is the chairman of our council. Every party has perhaps a group of trustees. The parties have been. I know they have trustees, and we have the chairman of the trustees. We have a board of trustees. But the engine of the party, the day-to-day activities, the decisions that are made, including like the ones we made yesterday or that were made prior to the happenings of yesterday, are more about the leader of the party leader. And the party leader, of course, he consults everybody. It's not upon us to engage him and ask him, have you consulted so and the rest. But yesterday when he got to the airport, we quickly wanted a quick discussion to find out what is it that we are up to, where are we on this. When we go to what is our message, many of us had messages in their minds, but somehow they seems to resonate with what the party leader had done. So we are all in it, and we agree with what we did yesterday and the demands that we put. Yeah.
So can we or can we not conclude that Azimio's sentiments are also the former president's?
The words of the president when he handed over power, before and after, and he made it public. He didn't say it behind closed doors. He said, I'm handing over power, lakini kiongozi wangu ni Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to leave it at that.